This club's about winning trophies. I'm inexperienced in a lot of those things.
3-0. Can you believe it?
Almost lost the cup and you win it. The new European champions, the treble, the dream come true for you.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Ooh, sir. How you doing? How you doing? The dog days of summer are about to end. We have Premier League back this weekend and Manchester United the following weekend. How you feeling? No Jadon Sancho yet, but it's not all bad. We got a Donny van de Beek in the door.
There you go. A happy Labor Day weekend to all American Red Devils. Hope you had a great holiday. Out here in California, things look pretty doom and gloom with all the fires. Hope everyone is staying safe. Anyone listening and affected by the wildfires there, no joke, sir. I woke up this morning and it was pitch black. Couldn't even see the sun out here in the Bay Area. Hopefully things stop burning soon.
Feels like the Matrix. When they blocked out the sky just to kill all the robots off. But hey, anyway, it was tough today, waking up. But hey, Manchester United's coming back next weekend. Premier League's coming back this weekend. So it's not all doom and gloom. We got football to look forward to.
Sir, I got Manchester United on my mind. Summer Transfer Muppetry here at the American Red Devils. But we have a special podcast for you. We have an amazing guest interview with the world-renowned artist Stanley Chow. If you listen to the pod, he's a regular. He comes on, give us his take from Manchester. Sir, you conducted an interview. How is it catching up with Stanley Chow?
It's great to have Stan on the pod once again. John and I have been big fans of his work for a long time, so just having him involved in any capacity, the American Devils, is a joy, and having him back on, it was awesome. You know, last time we got the formalities out. This time was all footy, baby. It was all talking about United and the coming and going. So I hope everybody enjoys that interview because I certainly did. Stan Chow, he's one of a kind.
We will be jumping to that interview right after we get the Summer Transfer Muppetry update. Again, Stan Chow, guest the honor of Sir Alex Ferguson as his first match back from the hospital. I mean, held in high regard in the circles of Manchester, sir. You get a lot of inside info, inside baseball from the legend himself.
No new. I don't want to do any rumors. I don't want to spoil anything from the interview. You're gonna have to listen in. But he's an internet ear. We are like 8,000 miles away, trying to pick up any news we can. Stan is on the ground. He is in Manchester, and he's not just in Manchester. He's a figurehead, of course. He's a big deal, not only in England, but just in the football world. So he's got contacts. I don't think he's going to tell everything on the pod, but this guy, he knows what's going on.
No, absolutely. So quick PSA for the podcast. Take our end of the season survey. We're giving away a Manchester United 2021 jersey, player and size of your choice. Fill out the survey. We love the feedback for the podcast. We're trying to get better every season. This pod for fans, by fans, and we really take it to heart. So if you got a second, you can check out the survey. It's pinned to our Twitter profile. Just click on it. Take you 5 minutes to fill it out, and you have a chance to win a Manchester United jersey. So we'll be going over the survey results shortly. I know the season starts pretty soon, probably next or this weekend, maybe early next week. We'll go through the survey results, recap the fixtures of all the other clubs. I think that'll be pretty interesting. And then preview Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. Sir, will there be fans? I don't know at this point. Check out our blog, americanreddevils.com. Alex, the editor-in-chief, is doing a great job. We have some merchandise there. Our new 2021 scarves just came off the production line. I tweeted out an image of them. They look great. They should be here in a month or so. Drop a review on iTunes, 5 stars, if you will. We're giving away stickers for that. Just take a screenshot, email us, americanreddevils@gmail.com, and we will ship a sticker your way. That is it, sir. Quick PSA, no ads, for fans, by fans. Absolutely love the podcast.
The greatest of English football. We've won it all. American Red Devils, we are just getting started. It is like... we say, the pod never sleeps, and it really is true. But we've got some exciting things coming down the chute, and football's coming back. And Manchester United transfers, we haven't gotten them all in. We haven't gotten them all out, but the promise is there, and it's an exciting lot. So I am looking forward to this season. How are you feeling?
I mean, the break is just, I would say, any more than this week, and I would have been missing football really hard, really terribly. So I think they should shorten the break every summer. What do you think?
These poor players that we talked about with Stan, like these players, it's like, what are they? I mean, they're playing international football right now, like for some reason. Like, there's some reason.
Yeah,
Why?
because of COVID, sir.
I know that, but we have like Premier League starts like, in 2 days, 3 days.
It's absolutely crazy. I haven't even got my head around my fantasy team. Also, we got a fantasy league. You should join that as well. That's on Twitter. Sir, jumping in, Summer Transfer Muppetry. We got to get everyone up to speed. Everybody knows since we last did the podcast, here's Donnie, Manchester United's new £40 million signing. Van de Beek is driven into Carrington training ground to meet Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his teammates for the first time after leaving Ajax. That was today. Could you imagine doing a transfer via Skype, sir? Via Zoom? That's pretty much what they did. He met Ole via Zoom.
Can you imagine doing a transfer via Zoom? And can you imagine Manchester United getting a transfer done with no nonsense within 48 hours? This was like how other clubs sometimes get transfers done. I mean, I like this. If we can get all transfers done, 48 hours, no fuss, no muss, £35 million, I'm all about it. But it's not the Eddie way.
I still think Van de Beek coming to train today, not enough time for him to gel with the squad. Regardless, could have got some business done earlier. Could have probably got Van de Beek done earlier. Again, Sancho, dragging. I'm not liking where the window's headed. We didn't get enough players in. And we kick off soon. We kick off next weekend.
We definitely have not done enough business. But I'm going to be an optimist right now. I rate Donnie. I think he's a great signing. I think he checks a lot of boxes, like we talked about previously in the last pod. He's super versatile. He can play in the box. He can play as a 10, but he can also play as an 8. He can also play as a 6. He can kind of play, wherever we need someone to fit in. And if Matic needs a rest, if Bruno needs a rest, he offers that versatility. And I think that's something that United is crying out for. It's good price, and he's good. He's technically very solid. He's got good IQ. There's a lot to like about this signing.
Get this man Donnie Van de Beek third kit.
Please, no third. Oh my God, that third kit.
Give him a zebra stripe Donnie Van de Beek jersey right here.
Speaking of fake news, I love this kind of narrative that oh no, the third kit's awesome. They've been pumping this no, the third kit took us 2 years to develop. 2 years to develop. Get out of here, Adidas. It was some kind of master project. It's actually an awesome kit. That's a funny one. That really blew up social media yesterday, sir.
Yeah, I could see, again, my hot take, if you care to hear it, is if you're Newcastle United, I could see you doing something like this. Your stripes, you've done stripes so many times, maybe mix it up. United had nothing to do with stripes. There was one stripe jersey way back when, and it wasn't even really that prominent. It seems like Adidas really likes the whole idea of we're hacking stripes, but United had nothing to do with stripes. So why don't you just pick a color, orange, yellow, leave it at that. You're good.
Keep it simple. It's usually not the case when you overtool things. But anyway, we're talking about Donnie. Talking about Donnie in that third kit. He's not going to be an instant starter, is he, sir? Or is he going to be someone that Ole is going to be relying on from the jump?
Look, our last signing from the Arrivederci, we know how that went. Memphis Depay, Daley Blind. Daley Blind was able to slip right in. Memphis Depay struggled. I think from an attacking perspective, getting used to the physicality of defenders, this is one where you got to give him a year. This is totally freshman year. Donnie's a long con. You got to stay with him over time. You can't judge him straight away because it's a big step up. Some players go to Germany, then England. They go Dutch, Germany, then England. Is probably the preferred path. Big step up for Donnie, but I think he might be able to jump in. But I'm trying to temper my expectations a bit here.
No, I tend to agree, and I think that's the right theme we should be saying because they're not all Brunos, and we know that better than most. Manchester United fans really know that. But I have to agree. I think it's going to be the consistency. It's going to be the hardest thing. He's shown it, right? Those Champions League matches. That's where I was doing the real breakdowns, watching him play some of the big teams in the Champions League, and he's been very, very strong. But like you said, it's a big step up. It's the Dutch league coming in, obviously the Premier League. So a year is the only fair thing. He's 23. He's got a lot of upside. He's certainly a player for the future, but he fits right in with what Ole's been trying to do with this team. So I'm all about it.
Look, this guy's a big fan. Get him that shirt. Next bit of news. Jadon Sancho, the elephant in the room. Everyone wondering what is Manchester United doing to get his signature. 4 hours ago, Fabrizio Romano Quote, Jadon Sancho has an agreement on personal terms with Manchester United. That had never been a problem. He'd love to join Manchester United, but it's up to United to meet the 120 million euros, 108 million pounds that Borussia Dortmund want, or there will be nothing to do. He's also quoted on his podcast, which is behind a paywall hysterically. Jadon Sancho is absolutely ready and buzzing to join Manchester United. He decided a month ago to talk about this opportunity. The problem is not the personal terms or the agent fees. That is the deal. So we've been hearing over the last week, it's the agent fees. So from the United side, our boy Phil DeBrun, he said, he's hearing it from United side. He's got contacts in United. The agent fees are the issue. Today, there's a little bit of breakthrough. Personal terms agreed with Sancho. Agent fees no longer a blocker. It's just negotiating with Borussia Dortmund. 108 million pounds, sir. Make or break. You think we get it done?
I didn't, but I didn't think. A couple weeks ago, I thought this deal was dead. But this seems to be a big deal. And it also, not just Fabrizio, it's also the English pressers, right? The mouthpieces of Woodward & Co. are saying that something's happening here. And I don't think they'd be getting the fans all jazzed up unless they were willing to plunk down what's necessary to get a deal over the line. So I'm more optimistic than I was a week ago. But I'm not as optimistic as I was a month ago. So I don't know what to say.
Much ado about nothing. Nothing has changed. For me, this was never a discussion about Jadon Sancho's wage demands. This was never a discussion about Jadon Sancho's agent's fees. It kind of turned into that while nothing has been happening. This has always been, will United pay the 108 million pounds, considering the COVID environment, considering the storm, the headwinds they faced with trying to get fans in the stadiums. They were originally talking about 12,000 fans, Crystal Palace. The news out of the UK, it's looking pretty bad. COVID will probably be impacting football, for the medium term, and United can't really be throwing up this type of cash as we've covered in the past. The rumor is that last month they offered 90 million paid in 3 installments, 30 million over 3 years. That's what we're talking they can afford. 30 million is what they can afford.
Jersey Johnny, baby. Eddie Woodward, baby. Let's say.
If that doesn't tell the United fans that the financial analysis we have done is valid, they're paying 30 million up front for Jadon Sancho, or trying to. Clearly, this is what Dortmund is, probably thumbing their noses at a little bit here. They should get 108 million up front. Now, everyone's saying, well, COVID's impacting all teams. All the valuations need to come down. People are talking 20, 30%, so it should really be, in the 70 million pound range. But at the end of the day, they have them for 3 years, 3 more years. So COVID was going to be over. Someone's going to want Jadon Sancho. It'll be a big money deal. If I was Dortmund, just running the numbers through my head, why would I sell him for 30 million a year for 3 years? I just doesn't make sense to me unless Dortmund really needs the cash, which I haven't seen anything that would suggest they do.
I mean, I feel like the 108 million pound fee already is the discounted fee. I mean, that feels like a very reasonable price to pay for a 20-year-old Jadon Sancho with the numbers that he's had. And the level of just consistent production in the Bundesliga and the Champions League over the last couple of seasons. So I think that's a good fee. If they can get it structured because of COVID, even better. But I think there's a deal to be had, because that's a lot of money. And even if you have to get it next year and the year after, where there is uncertainty, well, you'll have certainty in the fact that you're going to have a big punch of cash coming from Manchester United year 2, year 3. So I don't know. Maybe there's got to be something there. They both want the same thing, right? Dortmund want to get rid of the player because he doesn't want to play there, and United, obviously, they want him. They're his man.
Well, you're talking about if Sancho were to force through a move and basically say, I'm not playing, I'm not training until you guys sell me to United, I agree he would go to United. He would go under that 90 million pound deal. He is not necessarily doing that. Per James Ducker at The Telegraph, another top-tier journal, he says, quote, there's been a breakthrough in the impasse over the agent fees and personal terms where Sancho and United are concerned. Sancho is keen to move to United before October 5th, but United would still have to agree a fee with Dortmund, and that is not straightforward. So again, while this agent fee might feel like a big hump, social media is going crazy. Still a lot to do as it relates to 108 million pounds. I just don't know why Dortmund would sell him, because they could sell him next summer for probably 150 if he does well. If you think about that, if he performs well in the Bundesliga, does even better, they could sell him for even more money. Maybe that's just me being a little Jersey on the negotiating table. It can get done. I just don't know why Dortmund would sell like that.
Yeah, it's all going to come out. I think it's one of those deals that's going to run the length of the window. It's always United occupying the windows with the big transfer story because we're the big money team, baby. And it's going to be the same this year. I think it's going to run all the way late September, early October. I'm more optimistic. I'm telling you, it feels like there's something there because they're getting the pressers in, Stone and Peach. They're all kind of hopping up like, in unison to a way that they want to dictate something to publicly that like we're on to something. So I got some hope here. There's hope.
Look, if Sancho really wants the deal, it'll go through. I just don't think it's hard for me to gauge what Sancho wants. I have to imagine he wants the United move to come back to England, right? Play with Rashford, play with Greenwood. What a dog, man.
Oh! Legends. We're going to talk about that later, I'm sure.
So Jadon Sancho, we'll keep you posted. There's going to be a lot more on that one coming out. Next bit of news, name has been in the press. Sergio Reguilon has been offered to Manchester United. Real Madrid left back on loan at Sevilla. Fabrizio Romano says, quote, the board and Ole are considering him as an option. They will decide soon. Also, Sevilla have asked to have him back on loan from Real Madrid. The race is on. Other clubs involved. Reguilon made his debut for España International this past week. Had a crunching challenge. Everyone thought he was injured, but he was fine. Sir, apparently Real Madrid wants to include a buyback clause here. United are balking at that. What do you make of Reguilon? I watched some highlight videos. I like him.
He's a solid player. He's exactly what you're looking for in a player if you wanted to shore up that left back position. Not something I thought Ole was keen to do, but with the news of Reguilon and the news of, I forget his name, Alex Telles in Portugal, you could tell that they are actually keen to bring in some reinforcements. And it makes sense because a fit Luke Shaw brought out the best in Marcus Rashford. When we lost him, predictably, unfortunately, because he gets injured often, the team suffered, and this makes sense totally. The buyback clause is bullshit. You don't do a deal that has a buyback clause because you're still taking a shit ton of risk buying a player in COVID for a decent fee, $30 million, whatever the rumor to be, and then they can buy him back, next year when things turn around for 45. It's not the way the club's thinking in terms of the long term. So I get that. If that's going to scupper a deal, I think it did for our boy, what's his name, Holland, because I think that was the same kind of thing. So seems to be more and more common these days.
No, Reguilon, he's dynamic, change of pace on the wing. Definitely, I think Luke Shaw's a little one-dimensional, very good, but Reguilon, he's got the shot, he's got the pace, he could beat a man. I really rate him if they can get this deal in the region that we're talking about. I think it's good. Competition for that position is good at United as well. Aaron Wan-Bissaka locked on. He's so durable. Luke Shaw, injury, meat pie stuff. I rate him a lot, but that position, we looked like a different team when he went down. I totally see why Ole's trying to cover that. Next bit of news, talking about selling here. AS Roma is interested in Chris Smalling on a permanent deal. We're always talking about buying, but Eddie has a lot of selling to do. We haven't made any moves selling. This was, earlier this week. It's getting closer. Smalling wants to come back. Woodward being a little cheeky. I hope we can make a few sales here because we have a lot of dead wood.
Hey, we got a lot of dead wood. And I wouldn't even put Smalling on the dead wood pile. It's like he did well in Italy. He did well at Roma. We should be able to justify a solid fee. And everything we're hearing about this is going to be like, we're going to get scuppered again, man. It's going to be like 11 million pounds. They're going to get a bargain bin deal.
No, they're going to make us pay them money.
Yeah, basically. It's like a loan deal with an obligation to buy, maybe.
Dude, 22 million. That's what I would say.
At least 20. At least 20 million. It's like he's dominant in Italy. He's a great player in Italy. He's perfect for Italy. And if it's not Roma, there are other teams in Italy I'm sure they'd be willing to take a punt on Chris Smalling or players in teams in the Premier League. So I don't think it's one you have to do at a bargain bin. It's not a Phil Jones. It's not a Marcus Rojo.
Okay, speaking of punts, this is the Summer Transfer Muppetry, sir, so we got to get a little crazy here. Headline today, Daily Mail, Real Madrid prepared to accept just £22 million for one-away Gareth Bale this summer, leaving Manchester United and Spurs on red alert with the Welshman ready to lower his wage demands to seal exit. Real Madrid coming down on their price. He wants to lower his wages. Gareth Bale available on a cheap towards the end of the window. Eddie loves selling shirts, loves those big names. I mean, this says Ed Woodward written all over it. What do you make of Gareth Bale?
I hate it. I hate every bit of it. Are they going to pay us £22 million to take Gareth Bale's wages and his injury record?
$22 million, void the contract, and then he would not have his crazy wage demands because he's been raking it in and playing golf in Spain, right?
I mean, I would take Bale theoretically if you get him for free and you got a decent wage structure because he's always injured. Nah, I'm not going to pay anything for him because £22 million right now is worth like 40 in a normal year. So it's not worth spending £22 million on Gareth Bale, who's like working on his golf game, bro. It's like, I'm good. That's like another Alexis Sanchez.
So look, I used to hate the whole Gareth Bale transfer, made of glass, totally read it all. I've been watching some videos with Gareth Bale. It's a good guy. I think he wants to make it about football again. I see that kind of adversity with Spain. He wants to go somewhere and just play. I think United could be great, sir. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. He's absolutely world class on the day. If he's healthy, why not take a punt on Gareth Bale? Why not, sir?
Sir, when the Jadon Sancho deal predictably falls apart in the coming weeks, I'm going to buy you the Gareth Bale zigzag third kit, buddy. Our new number 7, Gareth Bale on 490,000 pounds a week.
That's the deal. If we sign Gareth Bale, I will get the third zebra kit Bale, the first Chevrolet jersey I've ever
You gotta wear it to the next United game we go to.
Yes. Okay, sounds great. Sir, that is it for the Transfer Muppetry. Without further ado, we have the interview with the world-renowned artist Stanley Chow.
And welcome back to the pod. And we've got back on the pod none other than Stan Chow, world-renowned artist and cartoonist, big Manchester United fan, and a Manc himself. Stan, welcome back to the American Red Devils pod. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's nice to be back. Sorry for for answering your email late, but very pleased to be back. Yeah.
How are things going on your end? Have you had a decent summer after the crazy football restart?
Summer's been a strange one, as you can imagine. I mean, it's probably as crazy over here as it is over in America. But I'm not. To be honest with you, I think football's come back too soon. I'm not. You want your big rest, and all of a sudden there's the last game against Sevilla felt like a few days ago. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I just want to rest now. And but yeah, we haven't had a proper transfer window or anything. It's just kind of like back into the soccer again. So it's quite. I'm not ready for it yet, to be honest.
Do you welcome the distraction? I almost feel bad for the players. I mean, I feel like the amount of games they have to play, and then they have the internationals, and now, like you said, the league starts up again this weekend. How do they do it?
God, yeah, totally. Yeah, they sure need a rest. You just got to look at the way the United were playing in the last few weeks. They need another month. Because they look absolutely shattered.
They really.
And the first 11 looked absolutely shattered. Ollie didn't change the team enough, in my opinion. But they do. The first 11 need a rest for sure. Yeah.
It was you talk about that starting 11. We had kind of talked about it a lot because he finally found his 11 right in that restart with Matic kind of playing the anchor with Bruno and Pogba. Do you think he just kind of rode that horse to the end and it was starting to break down towards the end?
Absolutely. Because what disappointed me was before lockdown, we had Fred and McTominay killing it. They were on fire, and all of a sudden, they had 45 minutes each. It felt like that, and it just seems so unfair because the last game against Man City against lockdown, I was there at Old Trafford. And McTominay was, he bossed them the midfield, and so it's just disappointing he didn't get more minutes really.
This is the Derby stand that you're at, the 2-0 game, and that was like the one of the most dominant United performances against City in a while, and Fred and McTominay were lights out all game. So
I know. So what I didn't understand, I understand why we played Matic. I just didn't understand why. Just didn't rotate. There's 3 players in that one position, and only one player's pretty much got all the minutes really. So, and not even just Matic, you know. I mean, like Bruno should have been rested a bit. As great as he is, there were some games where we could have started without him, and then we could have brought him on as an impact player because that's what he's good at, really. I mean, you know, and yeah, that's just didn't. I mean, like I understand for the first 4 games, like when we played those 4 games after lockdown. I mean, like, oh, great, he's found his first 11. This is good. But then after like game 5, the Aston Villa game was like, hang on, we're looking a bit knackered here. It's like, I mean, he didn't need to play that same 11 again. You could have at least changed it up a bit, you know. So we could visibly see how tired they were.
That was that stat stand, right? That was like there hadn't been an unchanged starting 11 for like 5 games in a row, which is the first time since the 90s. And I think there's a reason Fergie didn't do that. I mean, he always used to rotate, and it seemed to work.
Yeah. Well, absolutely, you know. I mean, it's like, especially when we're having games every 2 or 3 days, it just seems nonsensical to not use your whole squad, you know. And I think, yeah, we're going to talk about transfers in a bit, but like this is it. You see, I think United do need to buy more players who can just, you know, who can fill in the first team roles, you know. But having said that, I do feel there are plenty of players in the squad who could have just come in, you know, and done their bit. He just didn't, you know. He just seemed to lack trust in those players, you know. I felt Lingard could have really kind of had a few more minutes, because the minutes he did have after lockdown were pretty good. I mean, obviously before lockdown he was diabolical, to be honest with you. But you know, he looked like he could have done some good, like in the later part of the season and in those games, you know.
And he scored some goals, right? So
yeah. And Igalo could have played more. You know, you know, why did we have Igalo? What was the point of getting him on loan if we weren't going to play him? That's so yeah. So I've got lots of gripes about the team selection. You know,
we've come to the right place. You know, this is the place for gripes. The American Red Devils. So Stan, last time we spoke, it was October of 2019. We were 2 points off the relegation zone. How do you think the season turned out? You know, like a lot has changed since then. What's your grading on it, and what's your opinion on Ole from now till then? Has it changed at all?
Well, let's be fair. I didn't expect to be third. You know, I know. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm moaning now, but we came third. You know what I mean? You know,
Pip Chelsea.
You know, it must have been everyone else. Yeah, that's unbelievable. You know, I would have been. You know, 6 at best is what I was expecting at that point. You know, even if we didn't make it into Europe, I would have expected him. I would don't know. That's what I didn't expect to make it into Europe at that point. I thought Ole would be gone, but somehow, it just the signing of Bruno just changed everything really.
That's what we talked about too. I'm sure everyone in Manchester as well. Did it feel that way on the ground, like just one of those transformative signings? I know we were getting ahead of ourselves here. I was comparing it to Cantona. Obviously, we didn't win, but it kind of changed that. Like it filled that leadership vacuum that had been gone since Zlatan and Rooney left. Have you guys noticed that? Do you feel the same thing locally?
Oh yeah, no. Obviously, even on this first game, you could see him like dictating the play, you know, and that was something that was definitely lacking, you know. And it's good that he has those leadership qualities. You know what I mean? I think he's actually made more of an impact than Cantona did. Because Cantona, when United were playing without Cantona, we were pretty good anyway. You know, we were we were just a little bit short. Here this season, we were miles, we were yards away. You know what I mean?
Not even close.
And then he just literally he stepped up to a point where we looked like if he came out at the start of the season, he looked like we could challenge for the league. You know, that's the difference. You know, from a team, mid-table team to a team that could challenge for the league. That's how he made us feel. Where with Cantona, we were always kind of there, but Cantona literally just kind of took us, over the final hurdle.
Right, more of a complete product. We were more of the complete package at that point. Bruno, I feel like he just brought that edge, right? That winning mentality, which has been so core to Manchester United since the early days. Maybe the boys just need to be reminded of that. Just like we need to be mean sometimes out on the pitch and expect more from our teammates.
Well, absolutely, yeah. No, he probably does. He trains harder than everyone. Well, what I've read is like he's like the old cliche players like Beckham and Cantona, where he first in and last out. You know what I mean? He's setting an example, even not just on the pitch, but in training as well. And I think when you have someone like that who can set an example, then that makes a massive that will make a massive difference to the rest of the squad.
So, Stan, last time we spoke, we asked you if you were the director of football and you could sign any player. You picked Kevin De Bruyne. With the signing of of Bruno, would you change that pick, or you still pick up a Kevin De Bruyne because why not? He's world class.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne is world class, and I'll probably, I mean, like we probably don't need him as much now, but I still think he's probably the best player in the league at the moment. In my opinion.
And if you could pick anyone, just because
if I could pick anyone now, who we need,
you got it.
Holy shit. I mean, oh god. I mean, I like Jadon Sancho. I don't, but for me, it's not picking one player in particular. It's basically we need a left back, we need another centre back, we need another midfielder. Oh, we've got Donny van der Beek, and we need another forward who can probably play in any of the front three positions as well. So that is one player who can play in every position is pretty much kind of the perfect player, because that's what we need. We just need I don't think Jadon Sancho, obviously he'll add to the squad, but I still think we need to buy another, maybe one or two more defenders and another midfielder. That's I think like buying Jadon Sancho on his own would be a waste of money. Spending on other players would make the difference, in my opinion.
Yeah, you'd prefer to take that £108 million or whatever the fee is being rumored at and spread it over 3 or 4 signings, like a Reguilon, and pick up a.
I think that makes more sense because I say we're weak in all those other departments, and weirdly enough, we're pretty strong up front. Up front is probably not the place. I mean, like we probably need an attacker just to rotate the front three, but we need another player in every department to rotate in throughout the whole team, in my humble opinion.
And speaking of that, do you think the Jadon Sancho transfer will happen this summer?
Oh God, it will happen, and we'll be paying more than the original fee that we asked for. That they asked for. It's almost become the annual cliche now. With Man United, it started with Fellaini. It's kind of like, and then every season we bought a player over the odds. Spent over the odds, and it's it wants to. I think we'll get him eventually, because it looks like he's good in terms of it. He's not said anything yet. He's kept quiet, which is good. But so I think we'll be paying 125 million, whatever.
If we get
but not buy the players that we need. We won't buy another defender. And we won't buy another. Do we need another midfielder? No, I think Donny van der Beek is good enough now, actually, to strengthen that midfield. I think we've got 6 good midfielders for 3 positions. That is enough, I think. But
yeah, that makes. Totally, because I think Donny plays a bunch of different positions, right? He can play 6, he can play 8, he can play 10. What do you think about that signing? Is it someone you're excited about?
I don't know. Actually, I think I'm not seeing enough of him to be perfectly honest with you, and he was part of that good Ajax team that gave was it Tottenham that gave him a run for the money. Those Champions League games last season were immense. He could be one of the greatest signings we ever have. He's just understated. I like the fact that it happened kind of like quietly, and we got the job done. And then roll on to the next player. But I think all these big marquee signings, I've had enough of it. It's like a merry-go-round. It's like a circus, you know. And we just need to get, like buy players quickly and quietly, like Chelsea, man. The player that Chelsea bought was like, hang on, I like Kai Havertz. He's good. I like Timo Werner. Why don't we sign him? Hakim Ziyech. Hakim Ziyech was more exciting than Donny van der Beek in terms of the games I watched Ajax playing. You know, so it's like because all those players could, would be how Chelsea got their fingers on those players without much of a fuss. Nobody challenging him for their signatures. That's really weird. I thought.
Totally. I mean, the Van de Beek one is so non-United because it was quick, it was quiet, it was done, and it was a good fee. But you're touching on something, Stan, is that whole I think when Ole came in, it was buy English. And, let's do Maguire, let's do AWB. He probably overpaid for Maguire. Most people wouldn't argue with that. The Bruno and now Van de Beek signing feels like a move from that because it's like, hey, Premier League is the big dog league. It's got the highest paid player. It's like it's too expensive. Let's go and we can buy a Bruno and a Van de Beek for the same as what's his name, Madison at Leicester. Yeah. So are you kind of seeing that shift as well, and you think that's the right move?
No, I think I personally don't think he's bought them because of the price. I just thought he's got them because they are good players. I think even if they're English, and he would have. I don't know whether he would have paid over the odds for him. I don't know, but I think even though I don't know enough about Van der Beek, but if Bruno was English, we would have gone for him. As far as I'm concerned, I think
he's got that mentality, but he would probably go for double the price, wouldn't he have?
Yeah, possibly, yeah. But we'll go for double the price, but United being United will pay still more than that double. You know what I mean?
The Woody special, right, is like you get quoted a price, you drag your feet all summer, and then you just pay full bucket.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just I hope it's I'm joking aside. You'd think he'd have learned over the last few years.
You would think,
or his finance team would have learned. But it's just kind of maybe it's not him though. That's the thing. But it sure feels like it after so many kind of botched up signings.
Yeah, there's been a few. There have been a few. Speaking of which, do you think our man Paul Pogba will sign a new contract at Manchester United?
I like to think. Well, the thing is, who can afford him? Who can afford to buy him and pay his wages? Nobody. That's not this season anyway. Especially with COVID going on. Maybe next season, but next season his price might go down. He might want to. I don't know. Is it if he wants to be paid less? Or whatever, he has to ask for the transfer. If he asks for a transfer, he loses that big wedge. But no player in their right mind does that anymore. So it's kind of it's his own. He's basically got to ask himself whether he's going to sign it or not. But I think he will. United have taken that option of an extra season, haven't they? So
right.
So I like to think he will because I think he's a great player still.
Have you noticed I think we have. Have you noticed a change in attitude? He seems to be happier on the pitch since Bruno arrived. Since some of the weight of expectations has been taken off his shoulders and put onto other players.
He's definitely benefiting from having less responsibility. I think this is the main issue is United signed him, and everyone expected him to be the main man. And he's never been the main man. Even in the French team, he's not the main man. There's plenty of a supporting cast around him. He looked best when he's got players as good as him around him. Him and Zlatan together were amazing.
Right.
You could see the chemistry between those two, and you felt like every time those two players were on the pitch together, United would win. But as soon as Zlatan was on the bench, you could feel like, Pogba would take all that weight on his own shoulders, and when he couldn't handle it. You know, that's not his fault. You know, I don't think any single player can expect to handle that kind of pressure on their own shoulders. You know, you need a supporting cast, and well, you know, he needs another leading man next to him. You know, and when he's doing it on his own, he hasn't got it. You mean, I don't think. There's no point in throughout United's history where there's one main man.
Right.
You mean, if you look from the last 20 years, I mean, there's Scholes, Giggs, Beckham. You mean, there's Cantona, Hughes, Robson. You mean, there's always a 3 or 4 players who were top class. You mean, the thing is that Pogba is head and shoulders above the rest, but he just needs another guy with him to make him look good, as well as him making the rest of the team look good. You know, That's how I see it.
Totally. You need your Ronaldo, Tevez, Rooney, or your Law, Best. You know, exactly.
Yeah,
so
Charlton.
So it's we need those players, and I think Bruno's bringing it in.
Yeah,
and he's got some young lads as well. Speaking of which, there's no shinier gem from the academy products that have come up than our boy Mason Greenwood. We'll talk about the drama. He's making a name for himself in the international books already. But tell me, Stan, what's your take on his season? And just kind of like, he came in showing loads of promise, and then we felt like when he came back from the restart, he showed up a man. He looked like a proper man, a different player.
I think United. I think Ollie's handled him well. I mean, like there was a time early on in the season when Marshall was injured. I mean, he could have played him every game when Martial was injured at the start of the season, but he he just waited, didn't he? He just waited and just kind of bided his time with him. We can see how good he could potentially be, but you could have thrown him in the deep end and played him every game, but I think he just handled it right, and he looks like a. After lockdown, he looked like he put on a few pounds, didn't he? He looked like he was a boxer, So I think he's definitely an absolute star in the making.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. And what do you take? Just a bit of banner is like, what do you think about the news about him bringing some ladies back, breaking the COVID rules? I mean, United, it's in our DNA. Any issues with this?
Hey, look, I think every player, if they're given the opportunity, would do the same. He's young. There's pretty ladies around. You know what I mean? It's like, Christ, he's a man in his peak. You know, in terms of his sex drive. You know, so it's kind of. I remember being 18 too. You know what I mean?
Seriously, we didn't have girls DMing us. At least I didn't have no girls DMing us trying to meet up at the hotel who were Miss Universe contestants.
Well, exactly. Hell yeah. What he did was, he just needed to get away with it. I don't think he's a bad lad. I think he's just a lad.
He's 18, right? It's like you have to remember at the end of the day, he's 18 years old, and we expect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we're all on the same page.
If I was 18, I would do the same thing. Simple as that.
Just hope he didn't get caught.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Stan, when we talked last year, you had a lot of doubts about Ole, fairly or so. Have you come around, or is there still questions to be answered? How are you feeling now, given that he finished third? Obviously, we had 3 semifinals that we crashed out of. Should have picked up a cup or two in my book. What's your take? Has he gained some time with you? Is he currying favor?
He's gained more of respect. Don't get me wrong. Is like what I think I said is like my heart wants him to be good. My head is telling me, and what I'm seeing wasn't particularly great. But I think he's turned it around a bit. I like him. But I think what he's done is given the rest of the coaching team more responsibility. As well. I think that's the important thing. He's not kind of I think what he's doing now is the kind of Alex Ferguson way of managing, where he lets the people who knows what they're doing do their shit, and he just tells them whether they're doing it right or wrong, basically. Like with Fergie, he didn't do much coaching. He just picked the best coaches to and told them how to coach. Kind of thing. It wasn't. I mean, that's in a way that's the same. That's just a different kind of management that you'd expect from other coaches. Some coaches are more hands-on. Some coaches do it in a more kind of a managerial kind of way.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think he's. He's learning, for God's sake. God, I'm nearly the same age as Ollie. He's only a couple of years older than me. And like, don't get me wrong, I don't feel like an old man yet. I still feel young, and I'm assuming he still feels young, and new to management.
Definitely, and he's learning, and I think we could all see it as fans, right? It's like he hasn't gotten everything right, but he is definitely a better manager than he was 12 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally.
Awesome. So I'm going to just ask you a bunch of questions about the season, and you can rattle off as quickly as you want. But what was your favorite moment, 1920 season, if you had to pick one moment?
1920 season. Oh God, I think Martial's goal against Watford. That weird goal is like. It made me feel things I've never felt before in my body. Like, whoa! It kind of like I got this. It was like whoa! I've never seen that before. It was so. That was one of my favorite moments.
That's awesome.
And there's in fact every Mason Greenwood goal as well. Because they're all blockbusters. Just.
Especially when we started hitting
in like an arrow.
Yeah, bar down. We started hitting bar down, like outside the box, just rippers.
Yeah.
It's exciting stuff. Who was your player of the season?
It'll be too easy to say Bruno, but it's probably Bruno.
Right? Him or Tony?
Like Martial. There were parts of the season Martial was just sublime. It's like. Hang on, is this the player that we had last season or the season before? This was the player that we had like it's like the first game against Liverpool, like that we had that player again.
I feel like Ole's bringing something out of him. Maybe he was given back to number 9, but he just looks like he's dialed in and playing at a different level.
Yeah. So Bruno, like God, for the whole season, it's difficult to say because nobody's been good throughout the whole season. I think like there were a few games where I thought Luke Shaw was really good. And then he got injured as per usual. And then there were a few games where Wan-Bissaka was really good. And but then he looks like he gets tired too easily. He can't play 3 games in a row without the third game he would look absolutely shattered. But yeah, I'll stick with Bruno Martial as the main man for this season.
Those are the safe bets. I mean, Martial, even before Bruno came out, was having a great season. So fair shout there. Do you think United needs a director of football, or do you think they're doing it right now?
Well, this is it. See, like, I think Ollie is becoming the director of football. It's basically like going back to the Ferguson years. Ferguson was everyone, and I think the board are giving that trust to Ollie now. But I also think like Kieran McKenna and Michael Carrick are stepping up a lot, and that's where this is where I think where Ollie's actually kind of handling it well, where he's giving them the responsibility. So essentially, it's one of those weird things. It's like essentially director of football is just how it's named, really.
Yes, who's pulling the strings, and something to be said about like one individual kind of being that figurehead. Like we've had it with Busby, we had it with Fergie, and we'll see what happens with Ole. But we can dream, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of which, next season, have you seen the new United kits that came out, and do you have any thoughts in particular about the third kit?
Well, it's I've had a conversation with people on Twitter about this, and I remember the 1990 to 92 kit, the blue away kit. Everyone hated it, and then we won the League Cup with that kit on, and everyone wanted it. This is it. You see, like kits, kind of like you'll see them, but once you kind of like once you relate a kit to winning things, then your attitude to that kit changes. I mean, it's stuff like a lot of people don't like the 85 kit with with the stripes down the side and the badge in the centre. But as soon as we won the FA Cup in it, this is why we remember this kit, because we won the FA Cup in it, and that's how kits take on a new life. It becomes more than it looks aesthetically. It becomes your memories that come with that kit, basically. So for now, I'm thinking that kit looks all right, the third kit. But if we start winning games with that kit on, and we win trophies with that kit on, we're going to love it by next year.
I'll tell you what, if we win the Champions League wearing that kit, I'm buying myself one, I'll buy you one.
Yeah, I'll buy the whole family one.
Exactly. Yeah. Rumors. Speaking about rumors, this is a fun one. There might be nothing there, but you are on the ground and you have sources, so I just wanted to get your take on it. Have you heard anything about this Ortega family takeover?
I think it's a load of bullshit. But normally, like, I would hear whispers, and the whispers I heard earlier on last year was with the Saudis. The Saudis who were about to buy Newcastle, they were the ones that were interested in Man United, basically. But they somehow got interested in Newcastle United instead. But that was the rumor I heard. So it's I have heard the Ortega family one, but I don't think it's true. I joked about them buying United and then also buying Messi too, but it ain't. No, I can't see that happening anytime soon, to be honest with you. But you never know. It'd be great. I'd be happy as Larry if it happened.
Oh, we certainly would be. We might have to add some Spanish music somewhere in the pod. Yeah. You brought up an interesting name. I didn't want to talk about him. Didn't want to talk about our noisy neighbors, but Messi coming to City next year. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, look, they got lucky with the whole financial fair play, and like, how the hell are they going to afford to pay him and still be within the financial fair play and still pay all the rest of the team and still buy other players? Because they're going to need more than just Messi. There are players there that need replacing now. Fernandinho needs replacing. Rodri I don't think is good enough. They're like, Guardiola will always buy a new defender every season, and so it's a simple fact where there's something fishy going on. Unless Messi goes on a free transfer and takes a massive wage cut, then I can't see him going to Man City, to be honest with you.
The rumor is $750 million over 5 years, of which somewhat he'd spend in New York City FC. So I don't know. Financial fair play seems to be thrown out the window once their ban, was.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, why would he want to go to join New York City? FC? I just can't. If he honestly, I think if he is going to join any team in MLS, it'll either be Beckham's side or Galaxy. I don't want to disparage New York City FC, but you're just not going to join them.
They're not the biggest club in the United States. Are you playing fantasy? Do you play fantasy Premier League, Stan?
I used to, but like it just took up too much time. I'll be kind of like in bed at 2:00 in the morning. And then but the worst thing was, it's like you start cheering for the wrong team.
Right.
It's like why do I want Aguero to score? It's like I support Man United.
It's true.
So that was the main reasons. It's like I don't want to. It's hard enough being a supporter of your team that's doing badly, as well as trying to kind of like have like split emotions about other players who you don't really care about. For the sake of this imaginary league that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It's kind of like I need that kind of stuff. It was too much. Made my life too fuzzy. I just needed to kind of streamline. I needed less in my life, and fantasy football was one of the first things I realised was making my life more complicated.
That's fair. I've gone down that rabbit hole myself.
Yeah.
Who do you think the top goal scorer at Manchester United is going to be this upcoming season, Stan?
Well, I think it'll be Martial because I think he if he carries on the way he's playing, he's undroppable. And you know, I'm beginning to start to see Marcus Rashford as more of a playmaker as opposed to as a out and out goal scorer. You know, so it's kind of like, you know, it's very hard to look beyond Martial, to be honest with you.
No, I'm in total agreement. Who do you think's going to win the league this season?
Oh, well, you know what? It's the team that plays the less games. It could be it could be Chelsea, you know. You know what I mean? You know, God,
Hope not. I think. You think so? You think Super Frank's going to cobble that, you know, super team together in one season?
Yeah, well, no, but look, Antonio Conte did it. You know, like bloody, what's he called? What's the Tinkerman did it? Claudio Ranieri did it in one season with,
Right.
with Leicester. You know, it can happen. These things, football anomalies happen, and you know, there's no set rules in football. You know, it's what I've realised now. You know, I mean, the fact that Liverpool won so many games is like that's really strange too, because at the start of the season they were rubbish. You know, they were winning games which they shouldn't have won.
Right.
And I think basically it was sheer confidence that took them to the end of the season. You know, because like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they were bad; they were a good side, but like I felt like Man City were the better team. Like when if you compare the two teams, like on their day, I felt Man City were the harder team to play against, even though we beat them 3 times last season and drew against Liverpool twice last season. You know, I always kind of like you know, they just look a bit more spectacular on their day. You know, but yeah, what did I said Chelsea, didn't I? God. Who knows? Yeah, I don't think Liverpool will find it as easy as they did last season. You know.
Yep.
To be honest with you.
Okay, so you don't think Liverpool will do the back-to-back?
No.
Good. I hope they don't. And who do you think's going to get relegated?
Who do you think should get relegated?
Or will get relegated?
Oh, I want Leeds to get relegated.
Of course.
I wanted to see them come up just so they can go back down again. You know.
I love it. Have you, speaking of which, have you watched any of those shows on Prime? Either the Spurs one or the Leeds one? It's like All or Nothing, and they're kind of like the docuseries.
Oh yeah, no. You know what? I haven't actually. I'd rather watch Watchmen and other films, other HBO stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, I can't be bothered. You know, I can't have my life totally taken over by football. You know, that's pretty much kind of, my wife won't allow it. You know. I mean, I basically spend my life buying football shirts and watching Man United play. I think that's, you know, I should keep it like that for the time being. You know, like I don't, you know, I've got 2 daughters who have no interest in football, and I need to spend time with them as well. You know. Yeah. So it's like I've got to limit my, you know, my football view. I don't even watch MUTV that much. You know, yeah. I've got I'm a subscriber to MUTV. But I just don't even watch that, really. I'm kind of more interested in just going to watch United their matches, and that's it, really. To be honest with you.
Well, your wife sounds like my wife. You know, she has her limits, and you got to keep us honest. So, speaking of which, I don't want to take up too much of your time. We're nearing the end. How's Sir Alex doing? Have you had a chance to watch any games with him last season? And just, you know, how's his health coming up after all the change? You know, all the things he went through in the last year.
Well, did I tell you how I had dinner with him? Like, when did I have dinner? Oh, that was last season. No, that was the season before. Actually, it felt like last year, but it was actually the season before. But no, I'm not seen him for a while. But last I heard, funny enough, I was with Paul Parker today. I had lunch with Paul Parker.
Oh yeah, how's he doing?
And yeah, he's great. You know. And but yeah, we talked about Alex for a bit actually, and then he doesn't see much either, so it's just one of them. But I'm sure he's doing fine though. He did turn up to a few games towards the end of the season. I spotted.
I'm happy to see that. There's more smiles on his face, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And before we wrap, Stan, just tell us more about Stanley Chow FC and everything going on with you, where our fans can check out your stuff and follow you, and just everything they should know.
Well, at the moment, because of lockdown, and I've just slowed my operations down a bit. Really, I mean, I'm not. My print shop's closed for. It's going to be closed for another week or so, so I'm not selling prints until next week. But Stanley Chow FC, that's kind of slowed down a bit. I'm kind of hibernating, really. It's like like, don't get me wrong. Like lockdown's been hard. Like the last few months have been hard. I'm just trying to kind of collect myself and just kind of recharge my batteries now. And just kind of think about. Like re-strategize for the future, really. Because nothing's going to be the same again. I don't think it could. It could be good. I'm doing other stuff outside of football. Like I've got like an 8-book deal with Penguin Random House, so I'll be working with them for until next August, basically. So that's pretty cool. It's a little book of biogs with, it was Martin Luther King, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Jackie Robinson, just little biogs, picture book biogs with them involved, and so that should be fun. And but yeah, if given time and. I might start, and if I've got enough ideas, I might start selling more shirts, Stanley Chow FC shirts. It's a case of it's time consuming. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And like I just kind of I'm at a stage in my life where I'm just kind of I'll do a bit of this and do a bit of that. And it's not really that important at the moment to kind of get too heavily involved in anything. So. Yeah, just flitting around like a butterfly.
Well, Stan, thank you so much for the time. We love having you on the pod and appreciate getting all your insight just about being a Manchester United fan, and everything you know. So thank you again, and it's been a pleasure.
Oh, yes, it's been a pleasure speaking to you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're back. Sir, great interview with Stanley Chow. Absolute legend. Can't wait to have a few dark ales with him in Manchester sometime when we see a match.
2021, I think it's in our future. Stan Chow, we really do appreciate you being on the pod. Legend, he really is. Next year we're traveling again, sir.
Yeah. I know. It really is. The fact we didn't get to go to game this past year, it's kind of like Santa Claus doesn't show up at your house, sir. It's tough. Get out there, have a few ales, sing the songs, get out in England, have a meat pie. It's like a tradition. It's a yearly tradition. So I guess it will just taste that much sweeter when we're back. Fans are back.
I can't wait.
Before we jump into fan questions, just wanted to make a sort of hashtag Glazers Out financial update. There was a huge move in Manchester United stocks. Manchester United stock post Labor Day. 8% on Tuesday on significant volume. Some move like this, Manchester United doesn't trade like this, so a big leg up in the stock could mean a few things. Maybe big new investor. Maybe the club is rumored to be doing a new equity deal. Usually equity would be dilutive, so to go down. So this is kind of strange. What would cause the stock to move up 8%? I was racking my brain. Jadon Sancho. Like maybe Ronaldo could do that. Maybe Neymar could do that. Maybe Mbappe. Sancho, I don't think it gets you 8%, especially when you consider the tough times and they're paying a lot of money out the door. The only thing in my mind that would make the stock move like this would be takeover, right? Because the whole Zara thing, you covered it. You wrote the article on americanreddevils.com. We've seen the rumor about the Zara family purchasing Manchester United. I've been watching the stock. I looked at the stock, no movement. And to me, that means it's not credible. As soon as the stock starts moving, that's when it's credible. When they talk about rumored buyout, people start jumping in at the low valuation, trying to make that pre-M&A leg up. And this to me says potential buyout. Some move like this, someone said something, the Zara son talked to someone at some party on some yacht, hedge funds heard it, they're piling in, and this price action, very interesting at Manchester United stock.
I think it leaked that Chevrolet is our new kit sponsor for the next 50 years, and that people are just so excited about seeing that logo and maybe them working with Adidas. What else could they come up with?
And everyone, it's funny on Twitter. Everyone's like, "Isn't this insider trading?" It's not really how that works. Usually buyouts are rumored. I'm sure there's something going on. It's far from being done. So someone might you kind of see some smoke, you jump in, you make a move on the stock. It's far from being done. Either way, if you look at how the equity is structured, United, the rumored price tag is $3 billion. Their enterprise value right now is around 2.6. It's not implied in the equity trading. So, you probably see a deal in the $19 to $20 a share range, a significant premium. And that's the way the Glazers have structured the equity in Class A and Class B shares. I'll do another article about that on americanreddevils.com. But essentially what that means is the club cannot be sold without the Glazers' approval as long as there's one share of the Glazers' class of shares outstanding. And they have 120 million, and if one is outstanding, they sell it all, and only one share is out there, then the club can't be sold without their approval. So therefore, when you look at the stock price, it's not indicative of what a buyout would look like. Even furthermore, I started looking at the call options, and essentially call options are the right to buy stock at a price in the future. And there's a lot of activity in March 2021 at $19, and any M&A deal would be around that range. So the only catalyst I can see here, the storm's kind of a brewing in the equity markets, takeover, rumors, they're rampant, sir. I think that's the only thing. You see anything else that could drive this?
I mean, the market went down that day 3 points, so it wasn't that. And the Jaden deal broke today, so it wasn't that. And like you said, I don't think that would move markets that way because it's Sancho's a big name, but he's not Messi. It could be, sir. The smart money, the big money, institutional money knows before mom and dad like me, but. We don't know. It's early days. There's something in this rumor. I think there are legs in this rumor. I hope it's the Ortegas. I hope it's not the Saudis.
Well, there's also another part to take it. Their earnings come out late September, right? So they're probably going to announce when the earnings are out. This could be a play on earnings, but who sees Manchester United beating expectations? They're expected to lose money.
Right.
So short of some crazy noodle sponsorship deals or something that Ed Woodward did, it could be something on the commercial side that's unannounced, and they're playing the earnings. That might be the case as well. But it makes me even question even more because COVID in the UK, all the headlines, they're going the other way. Increased infections, fans probably not going to be allowed in the stadium, headwinds for Manchester United. So if anything, the news around United right now is negative and uncertain going into their earnings. So I have to think 8% move, that's takeover.
What I mean, is it possible they restructure their debt and that's moving markets?
Yeah, or is it possible they want to invest in the squad, back Ole, and win a title?
Talk about titles. Whatever it is, sir, we're going to be right on top of it. American Red Devils don't miss a beat, especially when it comes to getting those Glazers out of our club.
No, absolutely. We'll keep you posted. Interesting activity. It could be nothing, could be something. That's just the way it is, but you got to look at it and be like, 8%. That is definitely a strange move for Manchester United. Jumping in, fan questions. Appreciate everyone getting their comments, questions, and banter into the podcast. We absolutely love it. Some cheeky ones here, sir. At Mauger Heath on Twitter, quote, I know we're focusing on Sancho, but the women's side has really strengthened with Press and Heath. Good to see United want to succeed at all levels, sir. You'd almost think the women's team doesn't exist based on how we talk about Manchester United. But two big signings, both Americans, heading to the women's club. I feel the momentum, sir. We might be talking about a title here.
Titles? Titles. I'm all about it. More American blood, the better, especially if they can ball, and these girls can ball. So I like it. I think anything that's attached to Manchester United should be succeeding. So if it's the men, it's the women, it's the U23s, all the way down to the U8s. I want us winning everything because that's what this club was built on. A mentality of never say die and always trying to win, always pushing higher. So I love it.
Hey, get the American blood wearing red, sir. That's a good one. That's a win. At Ty Kircher on Twitter, quote, I'm very excited about the season with a rested squad, but also nervous with the lack of signings. If form struggles after a few weeks, Ole cannot be blamed if the board doesn't back him and get him depth. He had players he wants. Get them hungry for a trophy. Hungry hippos for a trophy. I'm going to say that's the new thing. Hungry hippos. So we're dying for silverware.
Put it on the soundboard. I think he's got to have a big burden on his shoulder to rotate heavily because the game schedule is insane. It's like the holidays for 9 months, 10 months. It's like it's a gauntlet. It's actually kind of incredible that they're going to ask people to play this many games. So injuries are going to be a thing. Like it's all going to be about how you start and how you kind of weather the storm in just terms of like endurance. So Ole, he could pick a starting 11. He's shown that, but now it's like, can he start half A, half B team that makes, that can go and win and beat Brighton away? So that's going to be the test.
Yeah, we definitely need to strengthen. It's center back, sir. Center. We're talking left back. I think it's center back.
Yeah.
At Bohan Boy for Life quote: how do you think the club should handle the Greenwood situation? Hopefully, they provide him with a good player / mentor. I hope that mentor is Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney. I saw my mate. Yeah, are you kidding me? Welcome to Manchester United. Welcome to 2020. It's like, sir, he's 18. He's 18 years old. He's having a good time. What should we do to him? We should we should be, he made his apology. It was not smart to break COVID rules. You put people at risk. I get it. There's a lot of repercussions. But he's a kid, man. This guy's a kid. And it's also like, dude, look through the history books. Just at this club, there have been some dirty dogs. We've had some dirty dogs. And Greenwood he's like a nice guy. He's like, they invited him over. I don't think it's a big problem.
Why do you think that guy can step in front of 70,000 people and score a goal and not bother?
Because he's cold-blooded.
He's a cold-blooded killer. You're in Iceland. It's like they got some honeys in Iceland. Dude, he's a dog. I mean, like Rooney was a dog. Rooney broke the club scoring record. Greenwood, great future in front of you. That's all I got to say.
He has an edge. That means he's like, he's got just enough of that cutting edge that is the difference. It's the difference. And I love Mason Greenwood. It's like, I love it. Harry Maguire, he's married. But I'm talking about like, Mason Greenwood's 18. Have a go, lad. Just wear protection.
I know. Sir, Harry Maguire fighting around the world. Love it.
Our team. I'm proud of it. American Devils, Manchester United. Hey, I mean, Lindelof was like chasing down a burglar. Bruno's having another kid. I think Fred's getting married again.
All over the board. At Clayton Denson, who starts game 1? De Gea or Dean Henderson?
Dave says.
Crystal Palace.
Dave.
Who?
Dave.
Yeah. I David De Gea, sir.
It's his spot until he blows it, basically. I think it's his until he loses it. And then it's Dino's until he loses it.
He's brave. Spanish Dave. Makes great saves, never shaves, sir.
I heard the song. I know it. I know the words.
At BryGuy666, are you guys just as tired as I am from constantly seeing this or a similar report being made? I don't want to hear about the lad until I actually see him putting a United shirt, talking about Jadon Sancho, everyone saying sources say, not a lot going on. We called it early on. It would be a saga if Sancho comes. It would come late at the end, getting the deal just like Bruno. We're not doing business early. We're not overpaying. But Havertz to Chelsea, 62.5 with add-ons up to 70. That was a deal.
No, it's higher than that, bro. It's like 100 million euros. No, it's not 70.
I looked up the numbers.
So whose numbers?
I
was told 100 million euros for Kai Havertz.
It was 70 million pounds, and that includes add-ons. So I actually think that's a good deal. They got a good deal there.
I haven't seen him play. I'm not worried about Kai Havertz.
But you can't be paying more than how much more than if Kai Havertz is going to set the benchmark this summer.
He's worth more. His numbers are way better than Kai Havertz. Way better.
No, I'm just saying, can you pay that much more for Jadon Sancho? Like that much more?
He's a better
it seems
player.
like egregious valuation on
our 10's better. Bruno's better than Kai Havertz.
Yeah, I get you hate Kai Havertz.
I hate Chelsea. I hate Chelsea scum. I do like how they get business done. They just like, oh, there's a fee, we'll pay it. They're like, I hate to say it, they do get transfers done. Now, I think Frank is going to blow up, but something to be said, every time we break the transfer record, it's not quickly. It's always a shit show, and it's going to be a shit show again. It was for Pogba, if you remember. It was for Lukaku. It was for Zlatan in some way. It's just like it always is. So it's United, baby. We're like the big ticket item, and everyone wants to talk about us anyway.
All right, next tweet at Mike J. Bods on Twitter, quote, why have we got the worst kit ever made? It's totally embarrassing. We look like zebras, ugly zebras too. The I know we just talked about it with I got to get the Bale third kit. That is Ryan.
The Bale third kit.
I'll tell you what.
Your new number 7.
The best take on the zebra I heard is the shirt on its own wouldn't be that bad with like maybe some black shorts and black socks. But the fact that it's zebra shirt, zebra shorts, and zebra socks.
Apparently, they're not lining up that way. Apparently, what they said is like they're going to line up with white shorts or black shorts. They're not going to full zebra. They're not going to go. I did see the full zebra. Even in the store, it looks like terrible.
You don't go full zebra.
You never go full zebra. And they went full zebra. And it's just too much. It's just too many stripes.
No, it's absolutely. Next tweet here at Lou_Dav77, quote, how is Pogba doing after the corona diagnosis, sir? You're friends with Paul Pogba. You call him on the daily.
I talked to him hours ago. I hope he's doing well. I don't know how Paul's doing, but I imagine he's got the top healthcare in the world. He'll be back ready to go. There's going to be he won't be the only player that's going to miss some of the early games. I'm not talking about Manchester United. I'm talking in general. COVID's going to affect people because they went out and they had a good time between seasons coming back. So it's going to be something that a lot of the clubs in the Premier League are dealing with.
Sir, that is the podcast. That is the Summer Transfer Muppetry, the Stanley Chow interview, the fan questions. I think we covered it all. Did we miss anything?
Premier League back this weekend. Don't forget to get into our fantasy league because I think you have to join at the beginning of the season, don't you, sir? Or you can't get in?
Exactly, yeah. And you can win a signed photograph of Tony Martial, came from France. I have it on Twitter. I'll be retweeting it out this week. Join it. We got the league code, everything. Football's back. Absolutely love it. I need it back. Chelsea coming out is going to be like looking. I don't think they're going to do as well as everyone thinks. You can't spend that money, get those new players in, and have everything click right away. Apparently, Pooley's coming back for them. So, Chelsea Blues.
New number 10.
Absolutely hate them, sir.
Yeah,
absolutely hate them.
No, I'm not worried about them. They'll never win 3 in a row, mate.
Also, City, no Messi. That's a big update there. Messi staying at Barca. That was a big, the good old Spanish runneroo, like big drama thing they do out there. Like, I'm leaving. No, I'm not leaving. That lasted 3 days. Interesting enough. Memphis Depay going to Barcelona. Interesting. I thought that we have the option to buy Memphis Depay in the contract. It can only be done if he's going to be sold. I don't think we need him back, but he's going to Barcelona. That's a big step up for Memphis.
But he's going to a sinking ship, Barcelona. You can smell the decay coming off that dead body of Barcelona.
Yeah,
literally, Messi's like, get me out of here, bro. I mean, it's a step up from Lyon, and it's a huge club, and he wants to play with Koeman, I imagine, right? It's the Dutch on Dutch connect. But that ain't the Barca that it used. That ain't 2010, 2009 Barca, bro. It's like they're on the decline.
Oh, I know. That's the pod for fans by fans. Check out our fan survey. Check out our blog. Write a review on iTunes. That goes a long way to help us get found. Sir, been a hell of a downloads last few weeks. You want to give us the top downloads last 7 days?
Top to bottom, baby. Here we go. How you doing? West Frankfort, Illinois. Number 2, Loveland, Ohio. Number 3, Richmond, Virginia. Number 4, Lagos, Nigeria. Appreciate you. Number 5, Hendersonville, Tennessee. Round Rock, Texas. Tinley Park, Illinois. Portage, Indiana. Mountain View, California. And last but not least, Hotlanta, Georgia. Thank you, everybody who listens to the pod. Thank you, everybody. All those American Red Devil fans around the world. All those Manchester United fans around the world. United. The promise is there. The future is bright. And the season, it's just about to get going.
Sir, Champions League music. Just remember that we got Champions League music. We got Van de Beek. And I like it. Everyone wants to, I like the idea of the spotlight being on Chelsea. They're the ones that got to win. They're the ones that got to show up. United didn't do a lot of business. Everyone's kind of saying, oh, you got all those penalty decisions. So it's kind of the pressure really isn't on us right now. So we need a good start. We need to hang in there. Ole needs to work on his rotation in the squad. And it's gonna be really exciting. Like Crystal Palace to me, big game, got to win. That's like a must win. And who knows what we can expect this season? But sir, I'm a little biased.
Just a little. But let the pressure be on Super Frank and let United fly under the radar because I think if we start well, you never know.
Sir, well, look, it's been I hope everyone had a good Labor Day weekend. As always,
kicking a blue.